Hey guys, Jody here, and today I'm going to be doing a somewhat personal video, different than what I have been doing. Initially, I was going to do a cooking tutorial video for what I made last night for dinner, but it didn't exactly go as planned, so I just decided to scrap that and do something completely different. This is my art book that I've had since my grade 11 year in high school, and I've done all my work in here, and I really love it. First, I'm going to start by showing you a few of my favorite pieces in here, and then I'll start from the beginning and work my way through. Starting at the beginning of my book, this is one of my first, I'm going to do it in order through the book, not in order of favoritism, but this is the first thing I drew, and the idea behind it was you had to create a metaphor but represent it as though it was literal. So for example, if someone's two-faced, it doesn't mean that they literally have two faces. But what I decided to do was, I think I had recently watched The Human Centipede. So I put two people together, attached at the face, and that's how I represented it. This is the next thing that I really like, which was a drawing of a good friend of mine at the time. He's now an ex-boyfriend who I pretend doesn't exist. But I'm sure all of you know how that's felt at one point or another. This is one of my favorite comics that I've done in the book, and just kind of what it is it's this little character within his comic strip who loses a balloon, which is actually outside of the comic strip, that you can see here in the bottom that he's kind of like, oh, that's where it is. Next up is my all-time favorite drawing that I have in this sketchbook. And it's kind of dark, so for those of you who are kind of squeamish, just look away for a minute. This is a representation of that boyfriend that I mentioned earlier. He actually cut when we were in a relationship, and this is how I kind of represented how it made me feel. And it's one of my favorite drawings that I've done simply because of the way that it's colored. And I don't know, I feel like it turned out really well. Although this isn't one of my favorite drawings that I've done, I still think it's really cute, and I'm definitely going to include this in the video. Yet again, another ex-boyfriend that I tried to blank out of my mind, but this one is... I just think it's cute. This is one of the first drawings in my sketchbook that actually represents how I was feeling at the time. Although I have yet to make an actual video dedicated to my mental health, I probably will do that in the future, but this kind of represents how I was feeling. And when I brought my sketchbook into my therapist, he had this different take on it, and it almost made me angry simply because it's not supposed to have two meanings. It's not supposed to be about hope. It was my way of visualizing what I was going through. Here's a very colorful picture that I've done, and most people, it makes them think of Adam and Eve, and although I realize that's what it looks like now, that was not my original intent. It was simply just supposed to be a boy and a girl, and I guess I just happened to make it an apple that they were picking, but I don't know, I love the colors, and I love that this is just blank space, which I believe was the point of this sketch. This is a short comic explaining color theory. This is the second picture in my series of how I was feeling, and I can actually pinpoint the time that this was representing because everybody was moving away, family-wise, and I felt like my support system was breaking, and this was just kind of my way of showing how it was making me feel. So the metal support beams that you usually see on construction sites are breaking and bending, and then at the same time someone is reaching in and ripping a heart in two. This is probably one of the drawings I'm most proud of. It's supposed to be a heart that a diagram of a heart that is good enough that it could be in the Grey's Anatomy medical textbook. And so this is my take on that, and I don't know, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I believe that this is actually the last in the series of how I was feeling in the moment. This is acrylic paint, and it says, "Where is the light?" and it's just kind of me with all this darkness surrounding me and reaching for me, and it's kind of sad to look back and think that this is what I felt like compared to what I feel now, but I know that things got better. One of the things that we had to do in my grade 12 sketchbook assignments was have a series of 4 photos that relate to one another and kind of tells a story. Okay, it's summer, so like the first day of school, then it's Halloween, and then it's winter. That's all for my sketchbook, at least the favorite things that are in it, and now I'm just gonna do a quick run through so you guys can see almost all of the things that I have in here. I'll try and skip pages that I don't want you to see, but we'll see how it goes. So cue the music, and I will see you guys on Thursday.